Not
was
a
on
few years ago.
Federal Highway.
What's your point?
And it was not John Denver, it was Bob Denver.
Okay, are we ready?
There's so many things wrong with the description. We never would have come up with that. That
Ready?
was
I'm
awesome.
hard not.
I thought I did Dane Denver. It was a Denver.
That's true.
Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Council workshop meeting, Monday, December 3rd, 2018, 6 p.m. Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Moheski.
Here.
Patke. Pettit.
Here.
Scornia.
Here.
Solentrup. Waterman.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
With liberty and justice for all.
Will all the committee members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the meeting of the Administration Operations meeting dated October 22nd, 2018? Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Moheski. Patke.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
Scornia.
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
Having read the minutes, are there any questions or comments?
If not, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Heidrich, seconded by Moheski, to approve the minutes from our last meeting dated October 22nd, 2018. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the minutes. Thank you.
Presentations, employee benefit renewal.
We have Scott Schreffer is here to go ahead and kind of go over our annual benefit renewal for the city employees on their health care policies and other items. So I'll turn it over to Scott. He's got
All
some
right.
good news for us.
I do, thank you. If you open the first page, United Healthcare came in originally with a 9% increase. We were able to take that to market and get it reduced to a -3. So this will be our third year in a row with a negative renewal. We have our first benefit change in 5 years, and you can see it's highlighted in yellow there. Our third-tier drug copay will go from $60 to $70. So that's the only change, and our recommendation is to go with that. If you go to the next page, kind of gives our last 3-year renewal history. We're down on our rates. We've had a reduction of 16.5% over the last 3 years. So we're averaging a -5.5. Last year we talked about if we ran well, we would get about a $100,000 rebate. We did. So that's factored in there. As we're currently running right now, we're in line for about a $110,000 rebate. So if we get that, that would knock obviously another 7% off there and get us to about a -10 renewal again. So we'll know that in February and realize that check back in April. So go to the next page. Our basic life, AD&D, voluntary life, vision, and dental. Mutual of Omaha handles our basic life and our voluntary life. There's no rate change in that. Standard handles our vision. We were able to upgrade that to a 2-year rate lock. And then our dental was with Lincoln, and they were looking for a 5% increase. We were able to match that exact same plan with Standard, who has our vision, and lock it in for 2 years. So that is, we feel very good about that. The last page is our flexible spending account. We're currently with WageWorks. Our rate is very competitive. We couldn't find anybody to beat the rate, but InfoSource is able to match it and lock it in for 2 years. We get a little better service features out of InfoSource, and to be honest with you, they're a lot easier to work with than WageWorks. So when we run into issues, it's not all automated. You can actually talk to somebody. So we're able to service the city's employees better. It's easier for HR here to deal with as well, and they have familiarity with it. So we recommend that change. Questions?
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic news. Is it the result of a competitive market or the result of other things?
Our group is running pretty well right now, and the market is competitive. There's a loss of membership. Anthem had a loss of membership, and they were very competitive. And just putting them, one coming in a little lower, then bring it back, and just bouncing them back and forth. So, yeah, the marketplace is competitive on certain types of SIC codes. So, Anthem's hungry for municipalities, which drives United down. So it's a good thing.
Very good.
It's great.
Thank you.
Other questions? We'll try to continue to bring that one. Appreciate the business, and thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Yes.
Scott.
We'll have this up for you in your regular council to go ahead and enter into it so that we can go ahead and start the process. Shauna's got open enrollments scheduled for December the 10th and the 11th? Correct. So,
Need to make a motion?
Make a
move to
motion.
council,
To move to
please.
council.
Motion, Seth.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mohesky, seconded by Hydrich, to send this on to council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you sent it on. Thank you.
Report of department heads, Public Safety Medical Director Agreement.
Good evening. This agreement is an agreement with Mercy. Basically, it's medical control for our fire service, our first responder program, and EMT. So anything we would do, BLS and below for the fire department, we would be under Mercy's medical control, which is what we should be. Right now, we do not have a medical control, so we're kind of on our own. And from a liability standpoint, that's something we should not do. So we had this agreement drafted up with Mercy.
Any questions or comments?
This will also be in your reported department heads, I think.
So
Or no, I take that back. I'm sorry. It is under, we have it as an ordinance under here
Ordinance.
because we need to enter into that contract.
Contract.
So I didn't see anything. There's no monetary.
No.
Okay.
No, there's no monetary. What it is basically, we will follow their direction. So there's a couple different hospitals out there that offer medical control. Some a little bit further east from here went to St. Mary's. Our SSM, Mercy being right here in Washington, it only make good sense that we would follow Mercy protocols and be in line with the ambulance district. Presently, we have not had a contract with them for some time. I don't know why it was not renewed when it was, but for some reason we didn't. This came to light about 10 months ago. We went to just do something as simple as get oxygen bottles changed out, and it got to be a pretty big ordeal to even get that because we had to get a prescription to get oxygen bottles. So with that, we started investigating it further. This contract's been in the works for about 8 months, trying to get Mercy to get it to us.
Any other questions? Comments?
Motion send on to council.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Waterman, to send this on to council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you moved it on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation, lease agreement termination, Big Driver.
Chad?
Yeah, we have a letter to try to terminate the lease agreement between City of Washington and LB for the Big Driver
Let me pull the microphone closer to you.
due to the cost of ongoing maintenance of what's coming ahead. We have to replace the shed roof up there, it needs to be replaced, the parking lot needs to be repaved. And from what the money we're bringing in, and, it's not making really sense, so the Parks is recommending to terminate that lease.
Yes, this discussion started back during budget period when Darren was still here, Darren Dunkel. We discussed it at that time. He explained to me the issues that they anticipated and also provided us with some numbers to show that it had been operating in the red for the last few years. We approached the park board with this at their meeting in November.
Yeah, last meeting in November.
Yeah, it would have been last November. And they were actually, I think, ready to vote on it in October. We told them just give it a month. There's no push right now. And so they did in November bring it back up again and unanimously recommended to go ahead and do that. There is a 60-day notice that we have to go ahead and provide the echo camps I have already discussed or brought it up with LB and let him know that it was coming, and also sent him a copy of the lease that we were currently, that's in place from 2016.
What about the credit card golf ball machine? Is that leased, or do we own that? Or?
We own that, and I would think that we'd package that as a package deal and put it on government.com or whatever and
Okay.
get rid of that.
And if-
and all the, I think we own the ball machine and a couple other items up there that come with that when we took that over, so I think we would try to.
And although there's not been any discussions, at least in my way, or I don't think as far as with the Parks Department either, but if somebody else approached Echo Camps and wanted to go ahead and open that as a business or whatever, privately run, we would certainly be open to
Right.
selling them those assets.
Yeah, we have a couple mats that we bought over the years. We did get some things with when we leased that property, but the stuff that we purchased, you know, I would think that we'd try to recoup some of our money back from all that stuff.
All right.
In addition, the park board discussed this about 2 or 3 years ago in running it, and at that time, they decided they were going to try to do that, the credit card ball machine, and tried it. So it's not like we just jumped to conclusions, but it was tried to do something less, but the maintenance just got to be too much, so. I think
We
that's
spend
what
roughly, it's about 30 hours a week that we spend just up there, not just mowing the grass, picking up balls, not really doing a lot of other things. It just, it just adds up to a lot of time that we're spending up there, and we're not getting nothing really in return. Really, we're in the red the whole time.
So this gets back to the discussion I know that, Jeff, you've brought up in the past with regards to maintenance, for our Parks Department. And like I said, so this is, as Chad said, that's 3/4 of a person basically that we've allocated towards that. And so by closing this will help and focus on other efforts that we've got, because
Yeah, we didn't add any employees. When we first opened that up, we did have part-time people that we ran with the way the new kids work. They don't want to work as much as the old ones, so it's hard to find part-time people. So we were running it with our same full-time staff to do the same work. So we're just, everything else is suffering in the park because of that one entity.
And what about usage? How was the usage the last couple of years? Has it been decreasing as well?
Actually, it may be increased just a little bit, but it's still not offsetting what, the labor we have to put into it. I would say it still costs a lot of money to operate. I mean, golf balls, we probably go through, 100 dozen a year. I don't know where they go. We pick them up, but, I don't know if people take them home or, but it just all adds up to, the usage might be up just a little bit, but it ain't gonna pay for the parking lot and the building and all the other upkeep that really needs to be done to make it a nice facility.
And we do have the Wolf Hollow offers a driving range. I think that's, I don't know if it's free or.
It's actually cheaper, I think, than we are to run, but they can offset their costs
Right.
from golf. So most of them don't make any money on their driving range. They keep the driving range close, cheaper, because they know that you're going to play 18 holes of golf right afterwards.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, entertain a motion to send this on to council.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Pettit, to send this item on to council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you sent it on. Thank you.
Bid recommendation, the wide area mower.
Yeah, this is a replacement from one of the older mowers that we have. We actually we're replacing a newer mower than what we were intending on doing, but with over the last several years, we've been putting a lot of money into this newer one. It's cost us more money than the older mowers. So we're recommending to get rid of the 2013 John Deere Wham mower that we have versus the other ones because of the money that we're putting into it. And this will be replaced with the Toro that we bought 2 in the last couple of years. We've had very good luck with them. No downtime with them at all. So that's what we're recommending replacement. And this is something that we had in the budget for the year. With trading the little newer machine, we got a little bit more back on the trade-in on it. But I've talked to the salesmen and some of the people in the industry, and a lot of people are getting away from that lawnmower itself because of the issues that they had with it.
How many hours are on it?
Huh?
How many hours?
2,500. But with the money we saved when we bought that mower, we've spent 3 times to keep that over the last several years.
Any other questions or comments?
With going out for bid for more grass cutting, is this something we need right now?
This is, we still do, we're still gonna need it because we still cut probably about 200 acres, and I know we're gonna be reducing some of that mowing, but even with reducing the mowing, we still need this more because of what we're cutting still. We'd have to reduce it.
More?
Huh?
How much is a new mower?
The brand new mower is $67,000, but we're getting $7,000 for the trade-in, which will be, the new mower actually costs us $60,734.20, which we had budgeted was $73,000.
$7,000 for something with 2,500 hours on it?
Yes.
Wow.
And that's, if you actually go online and see what they go for, I mean, I think it was, I was talking to somebody, the city of Columbia, had one they bought last year and they got rid of this year because of the issues they're having with it.
Approximately, do you know, Chad, how many acres that we cut, not the person that subs out?
How much we sub out?
No, how many acres do we cut?
We cut about 200 acres right now without the subbed out stuff.
Every week.
Any other questions or comments?
Are we going back out for more bids this year for more cutting of independent?
Not for the park. The stuff that was budgeted this year, from my understanding, was all for the street department.
Make a motion to send it on to council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Scornia, to send this item on to council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
By your vote, you approve the item. Thank you.
Finance computer replacement bids.
Within the council packet, but before that, we wanted to get it to you for the workshop meeting here. IT has been in the process. Wash PC has been in the process of. We've had quite a bit of computers on our old system were virtual desktop machines. They were beginning to pose problems for our users. They're not functioning well, and we're causing a lot of issues. And so we are looking to go ahead and replace those. Mary went out for bid through and received 3 bids. It's within your council packet. Wash PC was a bidder, and then I think we had another one through SCW, but the state bid, SHI, was the one that was the low bid, and it's a little under $23,000, $22,996.50 for 30 machines. The lion's share of those will be used in the police department, but we will also have some others that we're replacing citywide that are causing problems for others. It's about the best that I can tell you in the IT world. So, unless you have any questions. We budgeted this year $35,000 for this, so this comes well under that budget amount.
Any comments or questions?
Make a motion, send it on to council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Patke, to send this on to council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you sent it on. Thank you.
City clerk code review. I just wanted to give you an update on where we're at with the review of the code process. I'm waiting now for planning and zoning to review a little bit of the verbiage, as well as the Board of Public Works. A lot of it is just verbiage changes. An example is we had referenced finance manager and finance director. We need to get it all as finance director. There's other things like, is the chief of police still in charge of the lights and the heating and cooling for the council chamber?
I told him no way.
Just little things to clean up. At your next meeting, I hope to give you a
still
summary
is.
of everything that has been suggested to change. So that's where we're at on that. Library, Proposition L.
We met, I hope you can hear me.
There you
We
go.
met last Monday with the city, our library board. Darren was there. And this is Jeff Holtmeyer, and he is our vice president and treasurer of the board. And we are wishing to move forward and put a tax levy on the ballot to increase what we have. So if you go ahead.
I just asked Claire if I could come along and say a few words. We are the library board, and we're getting research done to confirm this, but from what we think as a board, what our memories best serve is, in 1965, the tax was put forth at 10 cents, and it's still 10 cents. So raising it up to 20 cents to match scenic is part of Prop L, and we are just looking for the continued support of the city and the council, and we wanted to just kind of put it out there and remind everybody that this isn't just funds that will go to help the library. In a way, it's going to help ease the burden on the entire city and all the other departments. So any support with any of the local groups that you're associated with, or just your own personal vote, would be appreciated. We appreciate your continued support.
Just to give the council some background information, the 10 cents basically covers about $125,000 a year within your budget. The general revenue fund gives $325,000 in support to the library, and so they have that in addition to the $125,000 for the tax that they collect. This certainly will help us with regards to how much we have to go ahead and help contribute to them. But one other thing, just so you know, the library board can go ahead and submit this language to the county clerk's office. They do not need, I guess, an ordinance passed by the city council since they're an independent board, but they have that within your packet tonight because they certainly want the city council's support as they move forward with this. I think they're getting a committee together to go ahead and begin to raise funding for this. And again, this is, for those of you that are familiar with the district, it is basically 14th Street moving north. So you got quite a bit of the city that's not in the district itself that's already paying the 20 cents per $100 assessed valuation with Scenic Regional Library. So as they mentioned, this will match that and give them an additional $125,000 approximately to their budget for the library board.
I currently rent, so I have a vehicle, and I paid about $8.50 for Scenic Library. So that's all you pay, maybe double that depending on your property, but it's not a lot of money, and we can make it go really far. So, and it's time. We've waited a long time to approach the voters, and it's time to do it. So,
Even if we don't require your support, we sure do want it.
yes.
What does it cost to put it on a ballot?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know how much we'll have to find out. I can get you that information. I don't know the answer.
It's based on printing charges, and since you don't have the whole town in that district, it's going to vary.
It's not coming out of the library fund, I guess. It's coming out of general fund.
That will have to be determined too. We can determine that before it gets submitted.
And hopefully our committee will address that too when we start meeting and gathering that committee. Scott Dickhouse has volunteered his services to help campaign for us, so we appreciate that too.
My guess is separate ballot issues like this are usually about 10,000, but
Yes.
I don't know what the
that's
library.
That's what you had said the other day.
I don't
so.
know what the library board itself, because like you said, it's not as many residents as the rest of the city. So I don't know if
Yes.
going to be a reduction or not. But
We will.
they will have to
present that.
blow the dust off some maps over there at the county when they put this together. Trust me.
You looking for a motion?
If we could.
Our support.
No.
And you don't have
It's
to
in
do
the-
anything right now. It's in your packet for your city council meeting that starts at 7 o'clock. So at that time, we'd ask for your support then.
Okay.
They're just here to go ahead and offer you, so we can let Jeff go back home and
Yeah.
dinner.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Council comments?
Any comments this evening?
This is a time when you can ask any other department head any questions or concerns that you have.
Otherwise, John Nildis will come up there and talk to you for 10 minutes too.
Hey, Tony.
He knows.
Tony,
That's just on one item.
leaves. How we doing on leaves?
There we go. We knew the leaves would come up anyway, so.
Leaves are going all right. We had the first rounds, we had a little bit of a slow up only because of weather. We were down for 3 days with some snow removal operations. Unfortunately, some of the equipment we use for leaves is the same stuff we need for snow removal, and we don't normally have a lot of issues in November, but this was a freak storm. So we did start the second round. We've been working from east to west. As of tonight, about 5 o'clock, we were up off of Madison and Zero Lane. So we've done the whole northeast side. We're working our way up Karen. We'll work back around, and then we'll jump across to Rainbow. And Stonecrest was all completed already, too. There's not a lot out there, but they ran through that first thing also. Unfortunately, earlier in the last week, we had some malfunction with one of our machines, and that put us down a couple days. Then we had a catastrophic failure of about $6,000 to $7,000 worth. So one of our leaf machines is in the shop right now. So we are operating just one. We are doing overtime in the evenings, and we also had a crew out Saturday trying to just keep our progress going.
So, will you be working your way rabbit trail, because there's a lot of spots that have not been hit? Rabbit trail all the way to. All right.
You definitely don't.
Thank you very much, because
You
I've
kind of see the progress each day where the guys are, and once we get down to 40, right there with Karen Lane and 47, then we're going to jump back over to Rabbit Trail and get that side, and then we'll worry about crossing 47.
Okay.
Normally, the second piece of equipment would be on that side of 100.
Right. Right.
So
Tony, what kind of catastrophic did you have?
it had to do with the drive shaft bearing, which affected the clutch, and then the fan was working out of sync, and so the fan itself got worn, and unfortunately. It's one of our older, the second older one. The brand new one we did get last year is working like a champ. So.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. I wonder if Pam could send that map up here to City Hall, because there was a phone call today about where they were, a couple of phone calls maybe, one. Because it gets colored in every day, right? Isn't that
We do.
what you
Every
said
night
you're
when
doing?
the guys come back, she updates her map, because we prefer if people just call us. Because she can explain it better and say, this is where we are, this is kind of our progress, this is where our broke down equipment is, this is the status on that. So we have called around extensively trying to find a rental, and it's just no luck. A couple good leads we thought we had were mostly people just wanted to sell us a new one, unfortunately.
What's really a big problem, Tony, is when we first started this thing, we said we're going to do the first round in November, whatever, 16th, was it?
6th.
First week.
6th was the 6th, and then and every day that their trash gets picked up, that's the day that everybody thought that the leaves were going to get picked up, but it didn't work that way. And that's the call I've been getting, saying, well, I thought they were going to do it the day that they pick up the trash. And I said, no. So they're doing the best they can. They're down to one truck. So it's a shame that we can't get to the people and let them know exactly what the map's saying, because, I notice it every year. It's more and more people are putting leaves out, and it's going to take more and more manpower to get them all picked up within a 2-week period.
Sure.
So I just hope that the people out there just be calm and
You know, every
wait.
year, we try to put that flyer out, and even in notice in the paper, we always try to explain it in the most detail. We are working from the east to the west. We're gonna hit every street once, then we're gonna come back and do it again, and we're only gonna hit your street one time. A lot of times, my guys will be going down the street, getting leaves, and people just keep raking more behind them, and it's like, it's gotta stop somewhere. It is a slow process, and it's time-consuming, but
You start picking up in July, it might be easier on you. Then.
well, you know, we did
Warmer
have some
weather.
comments that we started too early.
But when it's yes, it's all
Right.
exactly.
I know my trees were all on the ground for the first round, so I don't have much for the second round. So
This is always it's always been an issue since I've been on this council as far as trying to.
It has always
It's
been.
been an issue.
You're right.
We've talked about different ways of doing it and solutions, and we keep saying we ought to go back and look at it. Are we doing it the best way? And you know,
There is no best way.
there really isn't.
I've had more than a few phone calls on that one too, Darren. So Tony, appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Anyone else with a question? So can we go right into our next council meeting at this hour, or do we have to wait till 7?
I think we might have to wait till 7. Nope. Because it's
Okay.
advertised as 7.
Right. Any other questions or comments? We can adjourn the meeting, and then we'll start up at 7 o'clock then.
Perfect.
So,
Do you think this is going to be an average of a meeting, a half hour every month?
well, I don't know. This is our first one.
It's
So,
December though. It's usually a little bit slower right now.
We'll see.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right. Wait to see what August.
Everybody talk a little slower.
No.
We'll see,
It's,
you know.
it's working. We'll work it out. It's only the first one.
Okay, well.
Thank
so we-
you all for coming.
Does anyone else have a report to make something you really want to share with us? Not
Either that or
John?
Joe sings for the next 25 minutes.
Come on, John, don't you have a brag,
John, can you give him an update on Oak Street? There we go. Come on.
It's open. Next.
John was just dying to get to the podium.
I was joking with you.
A
I just knew you'd have
3-hour
something.
tour.
Get something. All right. A lot going on.
So, real quick, Oak Street, I guess everyone saw it was paved on Friday afternoon. There was a weather window there. They were finishing up the sidewalk up at 5th Street and Oak Street on that last ADA ramp. We have been getting some calls from some citizens concerned that it's over. Why haven't they, why isn't grass growing? Why isn't things backfilled? We still got to get backfilling done. We will seed and straw that. We will also withhold some money till the spring just to make sure that grass is growing. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. So if you get any calls, just a handful of citizens, I think it did turn out pretty well. If you remember, that street did not have curb and gutters, so it was a pretty big improvement. That project also was Elm Street, had a block of sidewalk removed and replaced in front of Sportland Valve. So if you get around town, just take a look at that. And it also did finish up the half a block down at Lafayette and Main Street, new ADA ramp. So I think all the water line replacements have been taken care of. Wintertime, we're here. So the landfill, and one more thing, the landfill liner has been covered. So we are moving forward, trying to get that closed out. I would hope that by the first week in January that will be approved by DNR. So we're on schedule doing that as well. So everything's closing up.
Thank you. Any questions of John? Nope. Okay. Anyone else have something, a burning desire to tell us something?
Mr. Quatham, how's the rabbit trail coming along? Did we button that up, or did we ever find the solution to the problem, or?
Well, we never found the solution or the problem, but how we made the solution was we put in a French drain to direct it to the storm so that it didn't continue to run out onto the street and ice up and cause an issue there. We have not been able to track down a water main leak or a service line leak. So unfortunately, this is one of these situations where we may just have to wait until it does decide to rear its ugly head. We got to the point where our next step was to start digging holes in the street and in the yards just to try and find something, and that ends up being a bigger mess than just waiting for it to if it is a water main to show itself. So that's where we're at.
And that couldn't be groundwater or anything coming from that dam, could it?
It could be, that's, me and John have talked about that too, so it could be, that's the
What?
thing, we just don't know, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Our key was to try and make it as safe for everybody as we could,
Doing a great job.
right? Anybody else got anything? Right.
Thank you. Okay, I think we should entertain a motion to adjourn.
I think so.
So-
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Patke, seconded by Waterman to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Burrito.